All right, it's here, launch day. We're just about ready to take off here. Got our steeds ready to go. We'll give you the shot from the GoPro as we go. Alrighty, so it's here. It's launch time. Here we sit in our driveway, about to leave it and not come back for a while. Off we go. That's it. Official launch. And this is our nice little subdivision we're going to be leaving. Oh yeah, I got to try to remember to turn my head more slowly so the video works out well. Yeah, this is kind of cool. It's a bit of a surreal feeling that you're actually going to go and just try to live off these motorcycles and everything we have packed on them for, well, ultimately for a few months, although we will be back here in a little while. Alrighty, so we are now off the 401. We're on one of the roads we like to ride. It goes right along the lake on the way to Port Hope, through a bunch of farm lands and vineyards, all sorts of neat places out here. Very nice. And it's got a bunch of interesting sort of features like this bridge. Feels like it's been like here for a long time. Come on, Sears, don't slow too much. Let's rock and roll. There we go. What an old bridge. Cool. Some interesting tracks. Occasionally you get stuck waiting for trains here, but not so far today, which is good. Alrighty. So, stop number one, we're in Port Hope, Ontario. This is sort of a place we do a ride to regularly, so it's really from here on in where we're getting into new turf. But kind of good to stop here, just grabbed some eggs, and it turns out there's some sort of filming thing going on here from Stephen King's The It, I guess. And this place is TV show associated with it, something like that. And this place is full of old cars, like this cool 1950s one behind it. The whole town is kind of done like 1950s. So kind of an interesting start to our trip. So far, so good. Have a good one. Alrighty, so we made it through day one. We are now at our campsite, number 32, in Cosmo Campgrounds. It was already an eventful day in several ways. We let the nav system kind of take us around, and it really kind of took it. We went for curvy roads, and it ended up being a little longer than we expected, and we had to sort of fight the nav system all the way through. It's a tricky thing to learn. Clunky. It is clunky. So it's a Garmin system. You're used to like your Google Maps and stuff, and it does everything a little differently. And it's got these assumptions that don't make a lot of sense that you can override, but you have to run into them before you learn how to override them. So we're still learning how to use our nav system, and that was a bit of a fight. The more annoying thing is after getting a major service on the bike and doing all this testing with it, now my bike is throwing up two errors, and one of them being a speed sensor error. And the really weird thing is the bike doesn't know I'm moving anymore. And so when I'm moving, it stays at 0 kilometers an hour. The odometer doesn't change. The bike thinks I'm standing still. The gas gauge doesn't change, which is a bit of an issue. I just let it cool and turned it on again, hoping it would clear. Sometimes this works. It didn't. So I don't know. It seems perfectly rideable. Just not counting any kilometers, not showing me speed, but whatever.
And my bike worked beautifully.
Yep.
No problems.
Her 2010 is outperforming my 2013. A couple of other fun facts. We made extra supper last night. Nice roasted vegetables and potatoes, and we had it last night and it was good, and we made some extra so we could just heat it up over the campfire tonight. It's home in our fridge. Forgot that. And we also forgot a can opener. Luckily we brought 3 cans of stuff. One of them is a can of soup that actually has a pry top, so it looks like we're having soup tonight. We just had an energy bar. That's probably going to be supper, but that's perfectly cool. And we're just gonna walk around a little bit, but let me yeah, I'm gonna stop this video. Any last day one words you want to add?
Can't think of anything.
All
I
right.
think you got it.
So I'm gonna stop this video, and then I'm just gonna do another video just showing you our tent and our location, and then I want to show you one point about taking a big bike like mine onto a campground. So I'll be back to you in that next video. Alrighty, so now to give you the actual campsite view, this is our campsite, number 32. We're all ready for, we got our nice little tent there, we got some kindling and the fire all about ready to go when we're ready to light a fire. And here's our noble steeds, of course. So yeah, one of the things, I mean, we've learned a lot from others doing documentaries of riding and little tips and things you should think of. And of course, one of the issues with a bike like mine is it's pretty heavy and it's very tall. And so that means a lot of the weight is near the top. And it was especially heavy when we pulled in and I had that great big bag, which you now see beside Sue there, had that on top. So a lot of weight on the bike. And the ground here is not real firm. And so when we tried to lean the bike onto the kickstand, it did, it did not feel very good. I did not trust it. And so we had to figure something out. And this is what we eventually did. I want to bring you in close. We had to find a big rock that was tall enough to keep the bike quite vertical, and we use that bike, and that's the real trick, is to make sure your bike isn't leaning a whole lot. As long as it's pretty vertical, it's going to be okay. So if you're riding a big bike, you know, keep that in mind. Don't leave it at an angle on soft ground, because you'll wake up in the middle of the night to a crash, and you that you won't like it. Now it's less of an issue with Sue's bike. Sue's bike's like about 300 pounds wet. Yeah, it's got some gear and stuff on it, but it's a much lighter bike and it carries the weight lower, so you know she'll have no problem. Although I think I will stick my puck under her kickstand right now, but otherwise that should be fine. So that's your little motorcycle travel tip for today.